The SIU investigates Kenora OPP after a fatal shooting yesterday. Good evening and thank you for joining us. It's now been confirmed that a 57-year-old man died in Kenora on Tuesday after he was shot by police in that community.
Ontario Special Investigations Unit is looking into the fatal incident. Kenora OPP say they responded to a fire at the Anishinaabe Park office just after noon yesterday, and that a person was injured during the course of that investigation. Bystander video shows police interacting with a man who was brandishing two large knives or machetes after setting fire to the building. The SIU confirmed on social media that there was a fatal shooting involving the OPP. And today they revealed that one officer shot the man. He was taken to hospital and pronounced deceased. No further information is being released at this time.
After some panic in Abbottong First Nation earlier this week, MNR officials say a forest fire near the remote community is now considered to be under control. Updates on Nipigon Fire 7 can be found on the province's interactive fire map. The blaze is still measured at over 200 hectares in size and located nearly 30 kilometers west of Abbottong. The officials say the cause is yet to be determined. Fire Information Officer Chris Marchand says residents in Abbottong have nothing to worry about, as the forest fire is in a remote location and the upcoming weather forecast is in their favor.
No, at 28 kilometers away, the fire remains a fair distance to the northwest of Abbottong. So the community is not under threat at this time. Depending on the wind and fire behavior, it's certainly a possibility that residents of the community could experience some smoke drift and reduced air quality from that fire. But really, it's got quite a distance to go.
Marchand adds they don't expect to have to call for an evacuation in Abbottong or the surrounding areas.
Firefighters were called onto the water yesterday evening to save two people near Mission Marsh. Their small pleasure craft struck an object, disabling the engine. The pair tried to row back to shore, but were no match for the waves and wind, which pushed the craft further out into the open water. Thunder Bay Fire Rescue dispatched a Zodiac and Harbor Rescue vessel to reach the victims, who were unharmed, and the Coast Guard then towed them back to shore. Firefighters remind people to check weather conditions and ensure all equipment is in proper working order before venturing out into the water, and to always wear a life jacket.
The Northern Ontario School of Medicine has chosen its next president.
Dr. Michael Green will be taking over the top job at Nossum University on November 1st. He is a professor at the Queen's University School of Medicine and the current president of the Canadian College of Family Physicians. He'll be the second person to helm Nossum since it became a standalone university. Lee Noonan reports.
I'm really excited to be coming back to the North.
Dr. Michael Green has been appointed the next president, vice chancellor, dean, and CEO of the Northern Ontario School of Medicine. Green started his career in Moose Factory and up along the James Bay coast, an experience he says had a big impact on him.
You have to find innovative ways to support and rely on yourself when you don't always have access to the things that you would down south. Also, the importance of social determinants of health and the huge impacts on Indigenous peoples of colonization. That's been a big part of my research career.
Green says he's especially excited by Nossum's distributed university model with hubs in Thunder Bay and Sudbury and building on the success of its satellite locations.
Even small places can be really great centers of excellence. So Marathon and Wawa are great examples, right? Two pretty small communities that have been outstanding teaching and clinical experiences for our students. And, how do you bring those together into having more of a presence in medical education and scholarship?
Green is also excited about the significant growth on the horizon for the university with the expansion of class sizes and residencies, as well as the plan to add other medical professions such as midwifery, pharmacy, or rehab to Nossum U's programs.
You want to expand to serve the needs of the North, but you also don't want to do so in a way that is not sustainable. So we just want to make sure that I get a chance to hear from everybody. What are the things that are needed? What are the things that are most important?
Current President Dr. Sarita Verma is stepping down this month, and Green takes the reins on the 1st of November. One issue he'll likely have to work out will be the lease on the Nossum U building here on the Lakehead campus.
I can't imagine an awesome U without a significant presence in Thunder Bay. It's it's the hub city for Northwest. It's one of the founding cities for the program.
Although Green doesn't start until November, he's planning to tour the campuses with his family this summer. He should be here in Thunder Bay in late July. Lee Noonan, TBT News.
The list of candidates for Anishinaabe-Aski Nation's next Executive Council election have been released. 3 people are running for Nan Grand Chief, and there are only 3 names on the ballot for the 3 Deputy Grand Chief positions. Alvin Fiddler is running again for the top position, which is a 3-year term. Fiddler served as Grand Chief from 2015 to 2021, and then decided to take on the role again last year after Derek Fox was removed from office. Current Deputy Grand Chief Bobby Narcisse is running against Fiddler. The 3rd candidate is Pauline Mickelson. The Sagigo Lake member is currently serving on the Lakehead University Board of Governors. The 3 candidates will seek the support of the 49 Nan Chiefs at the Kiwewin Conference in mid-August. Narcisse is also on the ballot for Deputy Grand Chief, along with current Deputy Chief Anna Betty Achni-Penescum and former Nan Deputy Chief Mike Matawa-Wabin. It will be up to the Nan Chiefs to decide if there will be any acclamations.
Another offer has been made to pay for repairs at the Ontario Science Centre, which was suddenly shut down last week.
Philanthropist Sabina Vora-Miller is offering $1 million through her foundation to keep the centre open throughout the summer. We get more details from CTV's John Woodward.
Premier, it's John Woodward from CTV. We're hoping to ask you some questions about the Science Centre and...
No response from Ontario Premier Doug Ford reached at an unrelated event at Pearson Airport Wednesday. The questions about the decision to abruptly shut the Ontario Science Centre on safety grounds, even though shutting the building wasn't the only option in the engineering report.
Shutting the building down is not warranted.
At issue, reinforced autoclaved aerated concrete panels in the roof, around 6% of them needing to be replaced. Once widely used, the panels are breaking down in buildings all over the world, including in 52 schools in Toronto's school district, as well as hundreds of other schools in Ontario. The TDSB says it has spent approximately $109 million to replace some roofs and plans to replace dozens more by 2029. But spokesperson Ryan Bird says the panels don't pose any immediate threat.
Bottom line, it is safe to remain in these schools.
Toronto's leaders suspect the Science Centre is safe too, with a bit of work. The city exploring what it can do with the building, pointing to an agreement with the province that gives the city a say.
Well, the province can't just walk away.
Infrastructure Ontario issuing a request for proposals to secure a temporary location for the Ontario Science Centre. With 50,000 to 100,000 square feet of retail commercial space in a dynamic area of Toronto or surrounding areas that is suitable for this use and easily transit accessible. A location that sounds a lot like the existing Science Centre, says Elsa Lamb of Canadian Architect magazine.
Perfect location for a temporary location of the Science Centre would be exactly where it is right now.
Petitions and letters have been sent by tens of thousands. The firm of Toronto's famous architect Raymond Moriyama offering up its services for free.
These are kind of standard repairs of a building of this age.
In the background, the government's plan to put a new, smaller science centre at its controversial Ontario Place redevelopment, something it has spent considerable political capital on.
Premier, it's John Woodward from CTV.
Political capital it continues to spend as questions swirl about whether the Ontario Science Centre can still be saved. John Woodward, CTV News.
As of today, puppy mills are now illegal in the province, but critics say the new law will do little to curb the problem. The province has made it illegal to inbreed, to breed a female dog more than 3 times in a 2-year period, or one younger than a year old. Those found guilty of operating puppy mills will now face a minimum $10,000 penalty. Animal advocates say the law is a step in the right direction, but they warn little will change, with many calling on the province to create a licensing regime for dog breeders.
The Lakehead District School Board approves its budget for the next school year during its final meeting before the summer break. The $171,000 for operating and capital marks a 6.7% increase over the previous year. Nearly $132,000 is dedicated to core education, while more than $23,000 goes to capital investments.
The Ontario Network of Injured Workers is calling for change from the provincial government.
A hybrid news conference was held earlier today, including local officials at the Thunder Bay OPSU office. They're demanding that the age cap on worker compensation benefits for older injured workers be scrapped. Nev Van Pelt reports.
The Ontario Network of Injured Workers Groups has been raising the issue of the age gap on WSIB benefits for older injured workers for many years. Since 2022, they have met with the Minister of Labour and ministry officials, but the government has failed to make the call for changes to end the age discrimination. Thunder Bay and District Injured Workers Group Treasurer Steve Mantis spoke about the issue.
We have been in touch with both the federal authorities as well as the provincial authorities to address this. And we need to just keep on pushing forward to say, okay, this is not what's supposed to happen. The system was set up to provide compensation as long as the disability lasts. Not to say, oh, now you're old, now you're useless, go away.
The current legislation only permits injured or ill workers to access WSIB loss of earning benefits until the age of 65, or for a maximum of 2 years if they're injured at age 63 or older. It's becoming an increasing problem for workers in Ontario as the amount of people employed beyond age 65 continues to grow.
People are working longer because they need the revenue to survive. And if they are working and they are injured in that time, then they need to be supported. And I think that there have already been enough rulings that have pointed out that it is age discrimination. Government can fix it if it wants to.
According to the Injured Workers Group, from 2012 to 2023, the number of WSIB lost time claims for workers aged 60 to 64 increased by 73%, and for workers 65 plus by 164%. In regards to solving this issue, Mantis shared their direct request to the government.
To remove the limitation on compensation benefits at the age 65, as well as the provision that was put in place to replace the loss of Canada pension benefits, to make sure that that is equal to what actually people would lose through Canada pension.
Nev Van Pelt, TBT News.
A Thunder Bay girl has been selected as a winner in the Toyota Dream Car Art Contest. 7-year-old Elena Glavish imagined her unique vehicle with the environment in mind. Elena's artwork was chosen in the 8 and under division, which comes with a prize of a $250 gift card. She'll now be entered into a contest with the 2 other Canadian finalists in her division for a chance to win $5,000. Elena explains that her truck runs on pollution to give clean air back to the earth, while the family driving it goes on adventures of all kinds.
In school, we were talking a lot of how stuff were polluted and how do we want to change it. And I wanted to change it, and I thought that the contest would be a great way to change it and make sure that we stop polluting.
I mean, as adults, we all hear the real world problems every single day, and sometimes even for us it can seem like, what are we going to do about it? To me, it's extremely exciting to see young minds that are tackling these problems and seeing them as a serious issue, but also thinking about how they can be solved.
This is the first time in the contest's 10-year history that a Thunder Bay entry has been chosen as one of the winners. The grand prizes will be announced later this summer.
Oh, that is so cute. Congratulations. I mean, everywhere from the art, Fiona, that looked beautiful, to talking about the weather and that the car is going to take in pollution and bring out clean air. Kind of leads into our weather here, that the air today, Fiona, was not as warm as we actually were predicting it to be. It's a little cooler.
Yes, yesterday Haley promised us 20 Celsius. Don't mean to throw you under the bus.
I'm still wearing my hot weather colors, so I was trying my best.
There you go. It was cool, it was gray, and at times a bit damp. We started the day with some rain to the west and the southwest of us. Throughout the day, it did kind of move through, but here in the city of Thunder Bay, we started with a low of 11. We only warmed up to 16, and that's with that morning rain, followed by mostly cloudy skies, and then afternoon rain once again. Winds were fairly light, mostly from the northeast. I say mostly because it seemed to be rotating around a lot throughout the day, but primarily from the northeast, 4 to 17 kilometers per hour. Oh, there it goes, moving through. If we take a look at where we're at right now across the region, we've got clouds in Fort Frances, no surprise there, mostly cloudy in Red Lake. Temperatures were fairly seasonal overnight, lows between about 10 and 12 to the west, but also a little bit cooler than normal for this time of year. Heading eastward, Greenstone had some clearing during the day, and then just in the last couple of hours, it clouded over again. Once again, they are currently at 15, which is their high for the day. Sault Ste. Marie currently at 16. They had a fair amount of cloud, and it's just been the last couple of hours things have started to clear out. But temperature-wise, throughout much of the region, fairly consistent. The coolest location on the Canadian side, Wawa at 13 at this hour, 14 in Marathon, then a lot of 15, 16. It isn't until you head all the way into Red Lake that they're up to that 19 Celsius at this hour. Here in the city of Thunder Bay, we're going to drop down to a low of 9 and fairly cloudy to start, but we will see some clearing overnight. And the good news is we've got another shot at those milder, I don't know if I'd call it really mild, but warmer than today temperatures. We've got another shot at that 20-degree mark. That's what we're aiming for at least. And we really want to hit that because after that, it's going to get cold. It's going to get wet.
Okay. Thank you so much, Fiona. Fingers crossed for that 20-degree weather. Thank
Absolutely.
you. Well, when we come back, we'll have some follow-up and reaction to that Toronto by-election where the Conservatives stole a Liberal stronghold, which the Liberals had held for over 3 decades. We'll have more on that and what that could mean moving forward.
Clear that I and my entire Liberal team have much more work to do